Today we turn our attention to Conor McHugh, the founder of Alchemy Search, who's joined us live here in the studio. Conor, good to see you as always.
Morning. How are
we'll
you?
talk finance, tax and recruitment in a few moments' time. First, though, can you solve an age-old problem? Is it column or is it column?
Column.
Thank you very much indeed. One of the most mispronounced names out there, but everyone's got their own type, but he's been very patient with it. Listen, Conor is with us this morning, but he is here to talk all things recruitment. Q1 numbers are in. Finance, tax, recruitment, a good start to the year?
Yeah, it was slow in January, if I'm honest. Bit of a lull, I think, after the Christmas, but we've seen February and March in particular really, really strong coming into the Ramadan break. But yeah, no, overall a very good Q1, and then it did slow down quite a bit though in April. So we went from having an incredibly strong March to an incredibly poor April. Why? Main drivers was probably the Eid break, which always slows down, but also the storm actually that we all had to go through actually slowed down a lot of recruitment because interviews were cancelled, rescheduled, and I guess it was sort of kicked down the road a bit, which really hurt us from the recruitment standpoint.
It's interesting because we had an insurance expert in, and he said that they were scrabbling around trying to bring the cavalry in, basically. Not recruiting new staff, etc., but bringing in staff from tertiary offices elsewhere in the region or something like that, just to deal with demand. But as you say, in terms of new appointments, etc., it does sort of kick it down the road.
Yeah, it completely kicked down the road. And, for us, the business, we've seen the last week probably 10 job briefings, which is really, really strong, while probably for the whole month of April, we only had 5. So that really shows that it really is pushing the other way now, thankfully.
How do you take a metric on the job market at the moment? I mean, in terms of the recruitment process, have we got to that sort of point of maturity now where you have 27 interviews for a job, etc., or not?
No, so the one metric we like to use actually is the first round interviews, because unfortunately in the UAE, some companies seem to have 5, 6, 7 round interviews for, even junior and mid-level positions, which is crazy in itself. But how we like to actually capture it is just the first round interviews. So I think we've seen in Q1 a 27% uplift in first round interviews compared to Q1 2023. So that's really, really strong, because obviously without interviews, there is no jobs. So it's definitely going the right direction.
Who's hiring and what sort of jobs are we talking about here as well?
So what we've seen, I guess, from us, from Alchemy as a business, we don't touch banking. So we are a commerce and industry recruiter, so mostly things that are tangible. And we've seen, I think 65% of the hiring was mid-level finance and tax professionals. So that is someone, finance manager, a finance controller, CFOs, finance directors, I think was 13%, which is very, very low. And I guess the main drivers for that is that the big change this year has been that a lot of hiring was done the previous year because the nature of this market, that on the back of COVID, companies lowballed. There was a lot of lowball offering happening, and companies haven't really woken up and seen that you need to make fair offers now to get the best talent. So I've spoken to CFOs, finance directors that went through maybe a 2 or 3 month process, which really dragged on, got to offer stage and only got like a 10% uplift what they were after. So the whole process dropped at the death.
What about, there is this sort of age-old question about who's coming into town as well. Is it international applicants just sick and tired with what's going on in their home countries at the moment? Is it those spying opportunities, or are we seeing a lot of churn here amongst talent?
So it's twofold. One thing that we've noticed quite a lot is actually people coming back into the region who left.
Boomerangs.
Yeah, exactly. So that went home maybe around COVID to be with family or, various different reasons. And, they're now looking to come back into the region. Obviously, safety is probably a lot of what's happening in the world at the moment, which is bringing them back. But no, there's still a massive, massive demand for, I would say, newly qualified candidates, people aged between 25 to 35. There's still a massive demand of these people coming in here, and they are getting jobs without Middle East experience, while the senior end candidates, without working in the region or understanding the cultural nuances, it's very difficult for them to get a very senior position. And I guess for the people in the region, Saudi is still paying, premium dollar.
Still.
So, yeah. And again, to the point on schooling, which we discussed a while back, that's where they're getting that, and Abu Dhabi as well.
What have we got? We've got a minute left with you, just under a minute. Good start to the year. Outlook?
The outlook now is it's a really good time for recruitment companies because bonuses have just been paid, which means, traditionally a lot of bonuses get paid end of March, end of April. We've got candidates that have job offers that are telling their new company that they won't resign until they get paid their bonus. So that has actually happened now. And now we're seeing a lot of movement in the market where people are serving their notice. So the company that they're at needs to rehire. So it's a very good time to be looking for jobs.
Really appreciate you coming in and sharing those numbers and the stories behind those numbers with us this morning. Thanks so much indeed for your time, Conor. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the week.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Big thanks to Conor McHugh for joining us live here in the studio. Conor is the founder of Alchemy Search, live here on the Business Breakfast.
The latest